Welcome back, everyone, to the Baha'i On Air channel. It's great to be back for another deep dive into the Baha'i writings. Mark here.
And Jane.
And we are so excited to be with you again.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to be focusing our attention on this really significant letter from the UHJ dated 19 March 2025. And this letter really speaks directly to the Baha'is of the world about something truly fundamental: family life.
Yes, this letter offers profound insights, I think, into the whole Baha'i perspective on the family unit. And it's not just looking at, individual families in isolation, but really getting to that crucial role within the community and the impact on the progress of society as a whole.
Exactly. And seeing it not just as like a personal sphere, but as a vital building block for a better world. So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack the core themes and implications of this guidance and understand how its principles can shape our individual lives and contribute to a more mature social order. So for all of you listening, this is your opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of this absolutely vital topic. So the letter starts right away by saying, the nature of the flourishing communities that the Baha'i world is striving to raise has profound implications for the family.
Yeah. What stands out right away is that direct link between the strength of our communities and the health of family life. It puts the family at the very heart of community buildings, like that first schoolhouse for learning how to live with each other.
Right, and relating to others and sharing and contributing. It calls the family the basic building block of community and beyond of the entire social order. That's a powerful image.
Yes, it suggests that, the strength of any larger structure depends on the integrity of those units, those foundational units.
Yeah. So connecting this to the larger aim of the faith, the establishment of a unified global society, the letter emphasizes that we need both a mature conception of family and the ability to extend the qualities learned within the family to our broader social interactions.
Yes, taking those initial lessons and applying them universally.
To really underscore this, the UHJ quotes Abdu'l-Bahá, who says that a family is a nation in miniature. The conditions surrounding the family surround the nation.
What a profound parallel that is. It suggests that the dynamics that we see playing out within a family, the levels of unity, cooperation, justice, or even conflict, will be reflected on that larger scale within the nation.
Wow.
So if we aspire to a harmonious and just society, we must cultivate those qualities within our homes first.
It's a bottom-up approach to social transformation.
Absolutely.
It's not just a private affair. The letter concludes this opening by saying, learning about a new pattern of family life is therefore an integral part of the effort to learn about the release of the society-building power of the faith.
So understanding and implementing these new patterns of family life, guided by the Baha'i teachings, is not just a desirable outcome. It's presented as essential for the faith to exert its influence on the world. It's unlocking that potential at the grassroots level.
Okay, so from this foundational understanding, the letter moves to discussing how the nature of the family has evolved throughout history.
Yeah, and it gives this important historical perspective. The UHJ reminds us that family structures have always adapted to the changing needs and conditions of society. What worked in previous eras might not be adequate for the age of the maturity of the human race.
Right. The letter gives some specific examples. It mentions how expectations of parents that were once appropriate might now hinder the progress of their children, or how strong kinship allegiances, which once provided social cohesion, can become obstacles to broader unity in a more interconnected world.
And crucially, it points to gender roles as another area of evolution, roles that might have been prevalent in earlier stages of human development can now restrict the advancement of women and consequently impede the progress of society as a whole.
Right.
So it's a key recognition of the need for our understanding of family roles to align with the principle of equality.
We can't just rely on tradition. If those traditions no longer serve the greater good or reflect the principles of the faith.
Absolutely.
Then the letter brings in another powerful quote from Abdu'l-Bahá, calling for humanity to now become imbued with new virtues, empowers new moral standards, new capacities.
That word new really signifies a shift, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just about refining existing structures or values, but actively developing entirely new ways of thinking, acting, and relating to one another, both within the family and in the wider community.
Yeah, a break from outdated patterns. The letter even states that the gifts and blessings of the period of youth are now incapable of meeting the requirements of its maturity.
That's a huge statement about humanity's current stage of development.
It really is.
It underscores that idea that humanity is transitioning into a new phase, of its collective life, a stage of maturity that demands new approaches to our social organization, including how we structure family life.
The tools and understandings that served us in the past are no longer sufficient. So given this evolving nature and the call for these new capacities, what would you say is the central challenge for Baha'i communities?
The challenge, as the letter clearly outlines, is to engage in a process of critical self-examination, to thoughtfully assess existing practices within their societies, to weigh them against the clear guidance of the Baha'i teachings, and to consciously cultivate and establish new patterns of family life that are truly in harmony with the needs of this new era.
It's an active and ongoing process of learning and application in the Baha'i context. So following this, the UHJ acknowledges that we're still in the early stages of the Baha'i dispensation, a relatively young period in history, and therefore we can't fully foresee all the forms that family arrangements will ultimately take. They recognize the diverse and complex challenges that families face across the globe, but they express confidence that this crucial learning process will gain momentum as the Baha'i community deepens its understanding and application of these essential insights from the teachings. Then they pose a series of fundamental questions.
Yes, these questions really provide a framework to guide this vital learning process. They invite us to delve deeply into various facets of Baha'i family life and compare them with prevailing societal norms.
The first question is, what are the characteristics of Baha'i family life, and how are they distinguished from the way family life is understood in society today?
So foundational. What are the defining principles and practices that set a Baha'i family apart? It requires us to engage in a comparative analysis, discerning where Baha'i teachings offer a distinct vision for family life compared to those contemporary societal views.
The second question, what is the distinctive nature of Baha'i marriage, and how does it foster family life?
Really emphasizing that bedrock role that marriage plays in shaping the entire family unit.
The Baha'i teachings place such a unique emphasis on the spiritual foundation of marriage, which has a direct and profound influence on the quality and character of the family that emanates from it.
The third question broadens the scope a little. How do Baha'i families contribute to the process of transformation in neighborhoods and villages and beyond?
This explicitly connects the family to the larger efforts of community building and social change.
Underscoring that point that we discussed earlier, that the Baha'i family is not intended to be an isolated entity, but an active and engaged participant in the ongoing transformation of society.
The fourth question is quite direct. What are the current pitfalls and obstacles facing Baha'i families that prevent them from achieving this aim?
This is crucial for any meaningful progress, isn't it? We need to honestly acknowledge the internal and external pressures and challenges that can hinder Baha'i families from fully embodying the principles and teachings in their lives.
And the fifth question ties it all together with the ongoing work of the Baha'i community. How does the framework for action of the current stage of the divine plan both strengthen family life and create opportunities for vibrant families to contribute to the process of community building?
This question really highlights the reciprocal relationship between those systematic efforts of the community, guided by the divine plan, and the vital role that strong, vibrant families play in contributing to those efforts.
They're mutually reinforcing.
They are.
Okay, so these are the key questions posed by the UHJ, and they really set the stage for a deeper exploration of this whole topic. And the letter moves into what it calls a new conception of marriage.
Yes, and it begins by quoting Bahá'u'lláh. Marriage is not only the key to the perpetuation of life for the peoples of the world, but also the inscrutable instrument for the fulfillment of their destiny.
What stands out to me is that phrase, inscrutable instrument for the fulfillment of their destiny. It elevates marriage beyond just the continuation of the human race to something connected to our spiritual purpose. It suggests that marriage has a profound role in our ultimate spiritual journey.
It implies that when marriage is understood and practiced according to the divine teachings, it becomes a powerful means through which individuals and humanity as a whole can progress towards their spiritual destiny. It unlocks deeper spiritual understanding and potential.
Yeah, the letter emphasizes that for Baha'is, marriage is not simply a physical union. It is fundamentally a spiritual bond with implications that extend beyond this earthly existence.
Its spiritual dimension is absolutely central. It's about two souls choosing to unite and support each other on their shared path of spiritual growth and drawing closer to God.
And Abdu'l-Bahá describes Baha'i marriage so beautifully as the commitment of the two parties one to the other, and their mutual attachment of mind and heart, with the aim of spiritually uplifting one another, fostering a deep and abiding companionship, and striving to become even as a single soul.
That paints such a vivid picture of unity. It underscores the intentionality and the high aspirations inherent in a Baha'i marriage. It's a deliberate commitment to mutual spiritual development, an unwavering companionship, striving for that profound level of unity in purpose and spirit.
And the purpose of this union isn't just focused on the couple themselves. In Baha'i marriage, two souls learn to assist each other in achieving their twofold moral purpose, cultivating their inherent capacities, and contributing to an ever-advancing civilization.
Beautifully connects that personal spiritual journey within the marriage to that broader responsibility of contributing to the betterment of the world.
The growth of the individual fuels the progress of society.
It's symbiotic.
It really is, and it's thought-provoking to consider that ripple effect mentioned in the letter, how that relationship established by the couple can influence countless other relationships and reshape lives and communities.
It highlights the transformative potential that resides within a Baha'i marriage. It's not just an isolated union. It's a seed that, when nurtured by the divine teachings, can blossom and contribute to a wider network of positive relationships and to social betterment on a grand scale.
Now, the letter turns its attention to how the Baha'i perspective on marriage transcends some of the common and often conflicting societal viewpoints, which it calls dichotomies arising from permissive and regressive perspectives.
The UHJ points out that the Baha'i understanding of marriage integrates various aspects that are often treated separately or even opposed in different segments of society.
Love, equality, intimacy, fidelity, sexual relations, childbearing, children rearing. These elements are all interconnected and mutually reinforcing within the framework of Baha'i marriage, creating a fortress for personal and social well-being.
And contrasting that holistic view with that fragmentation that occurs in permissive and regressive social practices. Permissive approaches undermine the integrity of marriage by separating these essential features, while regressive practices distort them by overemphasizing certain aspects at the expense of others, leading to imbalance and oppression.
It really underscores that balanced and comprehensive nature of the teachings. It offers that middle path that avoids the extremes, and the letter stresses that adherence to these teachings is essential for resolving these problems arising from these divergent viewpoints, placing particular emphasis on the principle of the equality of women and men.
This principle of equality is like a cornerstone for developing this new pattern of Baha'i married life. When genuinely applied in the relationship between husband and wife, it strengthens their bond, but also shapes how their children come to understand and embody that concept of equality.
And the implications of this extend far beyond just the individual family. The consistent application of equality within the home will gradually contribute to the full participation of women in all spheres of human endeavor, fulfilling the vision articulated by Abdu'l-Bahá.
The principle of equality practiced within the home serves as that training ground and that powerful model for equality in the wider world.
It's a foundational principle that can reshape societal structures and norms. The letter states, marriage creates family, and the sound relationships that are to bind members of a Baha'i family are based on justice and reciprocity.
Why are those so crucial for family life?
It establishes that framework of fairness and mutual respect. Justice ensures that the rights of each individual member are upheld, while reciprocity emphasizes fulfilling responsibilities toward others in the family. It's a system of rights and duties.
Abdu'l-Bahá says, according to the teachings of Bahá'u'lláh, the family, being a human unit, must be educated according to the rules of sanctity, the integrity of the family bond must be constantly considered, and the rights of the individual members must not be transgressed.
Really underscores that sacred nature of family relationships.
It does.
These healthy relationships aren't accidental. They require effort and cultivation based on divine guidance. The letter then delves into the dynamics within a Baha'i family, emphasizing that the married couple should function as true partners, where there's no subordination.
This principle of partnership is so fundamental. It implies a relationship of mutual respect, shared decision-making, and a collaborative approach to navigating life together.
The letter mentions that this collaborative navigation occurs through prayer study of the teachings, consultation, and reflection.
These are the essential tools that a Baha'i couple utilizes to work through disagreements and make important choices, guided by the principles of the faith and by a deep understanding of each other's perspectives.
And on the topic of the education of children, it acknowledges the mother as the first educator and affirms her significant role, even quoting Abdu'l-Bahá on the profound and lasting influence of mothers.
It's beautiful how the teachings recognize and honor that unique role of the mother in shaping the character, values, and development of her children.
However, the letter makes it clear that the father shares the responsibility for the education and upbringing of their children. And while the father has the primary financial responsibility to support the mother in her role as educator,
the specific roles within the family are not meant to be rigidly fixed.
This is crucial. While certain responsibilities are highlighted, the overall approach emphasizes flexibility and decision-making through consultation.
Guided by the teachings and the unique circumstances of each family.
Yeah, the guiding principle is what promotes the well-being and progress of all family members.
The letter also touches upon how each stage of married life brings its own challenges and opportunities, requiring the couple to manage their affairs cooperatively while supporting each other's growth. Marriage isn't static. It's a living and evolving relationship. Couples need to continually adapt and actively nurture each other's growth and development.
Shifting focus to the role of parents in their children's development, the letter describes the family as a supportive environment where parents guide their children to live lives of devotion, virtue, and service.
It emphasizes the ways in which parents fulfill this role through example daily routines, interactions, and meaningful conversations.
The letter provides some great examples of those principles and attitudes that children learn. Turning to God, developing love for God, prayer, recitation of Scripture, understanding themselves as noble beings, prioritizing the needs of others, and fostering cooperative relationships.
The building blocks of spiritual life.
And as they mature, the letter outlines their progressive learning, developing resilience, self-discipline, selflessness, acquiring knowledge, developing an attitude of service, sharing the teachings, resolving disagreements through consultation, maintaining steadfastness, working for the betterment of the world, and focusing on everlasting honor.
It's a pretty comprehensive vision.
It really is. It encompasses not only academic growth, but also character traits and commitment to the well-being of humanity. And the letter emphasizes that the Baha'i writings themselves and the Training Institute are invaluable resources for parents.
While acknowledging the roles of schools and the wider community, it underscores that the ultimate responsibility for their children's education rests with their parents, reinforcing that primary role of the family in the education of children.
Then it considers how family relationships evolve and change. It emphasizes the importance of nurturing bonds between siblings.
These can be incredibly powerful throughout life, and parents play a vital role in fostering that bond.
It also highlights the need for parents to be sensitive to the evolving rights and responsibilities of their children, gradually granting them greater autonomy and encouraging them to take responsibility.
Recognizing and supporting that growing independence is crucial.
As children mature, the letter reminds us of the respect they owe their parents, while acknowledging that shift in the balance of care, where adult children may need to assist their aging parents.
It's a reflection of that cyclical nature of family life and those bonds of love and responsibility.
The discussion broadens to the wider circle of family relationships, emphasizing that the nuclear family isn't isolated, but embedded in a network, beginning with the extended family.
Highlighting the valuable role that the extended family can play.
And the letter extends this concept to include fellow Baha'is and friends, who can also offer support.
It mentions the role of elders as sources of counsel, as well as others acting as spiritual aunts and uncles, and even the positive influence of youth.
As role models.
It creates this picture of a supportive and interconnected community, where those qualities of oneness, love, care, trust, and solidarity permeate those wider social relationships.
Turning to financial stewardship within the family, the letter underscores its significance for the well-being of the family and its ability to participate in the community.
Open and honest consultation between husband and wife, and with children regarding financial decisions.
The letter outlines key considerations for wise stewardship: how the family earns income, how it spends, the importance of saving, planning for children's education, contributing to the funds, supporting community activities, and the Bahá'u'lláh.
By addressing these openly, the family becomes a learning environment for cultivating generosity, responsibility,
and managing material means. The letter then explores the family's dynamic interaction with society, illustrating how Baha'i family life naturally fosters engagement with the wider world.
This section provides concrete examples of how those principles practiced within the family have a ripple effect on society.
For instance, the equality between women and men within the family prepares its members for interactions based on equity in society, or how the emphasis on the oneness of humanity within the home leads to raising children who are free from prejudice and who appreciate diversity.
And the cultivation of capacities, such as the investigation of truth, the harmony between science and religion, and decision-making through consultation, empowers family members to become agents of transformation. And even the development of qualities like justice and compassion prepares children to build sound relationships.
The Baha'i family serves as a microcosm of the ideal society that we're striving to build. The conscious application of the teachings cultivates a vision that extends beyond the family, fostering an awareness of global needs.
It really is a powerful illustration of how individual and family transformation are linked to the progress of society.
Then the letter addresses countering forces of disintegration, explaining how this new pattern of family life provides a means of resisting negative forces.
The UHJ acknowledges the destructive forces that families face, the absence of love and care, the neglect of spiritual development, the dehumanization of individuals, poverty, insecurity, and violence.
The letter also mentions material distractions and personal gratification, conflicting ideologies, and movements that sow prejudice and fanaticism. It's a reminder of the challenges we face.
It underscores the need to be aware of these forces and understand their impact.
And it cautions that some movements might appear aligned with the teachings,
but can lead individuals astray.
The letter emphasizes the need to understand these forces and develop preventative measures,
relying on divine assistance. And the letter also touches on the evolution of family relationships over time.
Right. Relationships change as children grow.
They do. So, for example, the bond between siblings, when it's nurtured with love and unity, it can be an incredible source of support throughout life.
That's a special bond.
It is. And then as children mature, the parent-child relationship also needs to evolve.
We have to adapt our approach.
We have to foster their independence.
And help them develop a sense of responsibility.
So it's a gradual shift from guidance to a more peer-like relationship,
while still maintaining that foundation of respect and honor.
Of course. And then as parents age, the roles may reverse again.
Adult children may need to provide more care and support for their aging parents.
It's the circle of life.
It is.
And it reminds us that the nuclear family doesn't exist in isolation.
We're part of a larger network.
Extended family, friends, our Baha'i community, they all contribute to the well-being of the family.
And a vibrant Baha'i community can offer so much.
Yeah. We have the wisdom of our elders, we have the support of our fellow believers.
And the energy and enthusiasm of our youth.
It's that sense of interconnectedness, of spiritual kinship, where the love and unity that begins in the family extends outward into the community.
It creates a sense of belonging and mutual support.
And on a more practical note, the letter also addresses the importance of managing family finances.
It's essential for a stable and happy family life.
And it impacts our ability to contribute to the community.
The letter emphasizes the need for consultation between husband and wife.
And even with children, as appropriate.
Right. It's about making decisions together, balancing financial needs with other family obligations.
Because it's more than just budgeting.
It's about wise stewardship, being mindful of income and expenses, saving for the future, planning for children's education.
And, of course, contributing to the funds of the faith.
And fulfilling our obligation to pay Bahá'u'lláh.
It's all connected. And it's a chance to teach our children about generosity, responsibility, the difference between needs and wants.
Absolutely.
And then the letter brings up this really interesting point. Baha'i family life isn't just about what happens within the home. It also impacts how we interact with the wider society.
As we strive to live by Baha'i principles, that naturally extends outward.
It influences our behavior, our relationships, our contributions to the world.
Exactly.
And the letter gives some specific examples, like how the equality we practice within the family can inspire us to advocate for equality in society.
And how raising our children free from prejudice helps to build a more unified world.
It's about equipping our children with the tools they need to be agents of positive change.
Teaching them to investigate truth independently, to see the harmony between science and religion, to work collaboratively with others.
To embody qualities like justice and compassion.
Exactly.
It's about broadening their horizons.
Helping them understand global conditions, and needs.
And ultimately empowering them to make a difference.
Because that's what the world needs. More people who are dedicated to building a better future.
And the letter also points out that this new pattern of family life we're striving for, it's not just about personal fulfillment. It's also a powerful counterforce to the forces of disintegration that are plaguing society.
We see it all around us.
The breakdown of families, the loss of connection,
The rise of social problems.
poverty, violence.
The absence of love, spiritual neglect, dehumanization.
It's heartbreaking, and it's impacting families in profound ways.
Individuals are becoming increasingly isolated, materialistic, self-indulgent.
And ideologies are creating division.
It's a challenging time.
It is, and it's a call to action. The Universal House of Justice is urging Baha'i families and communities to be aware of these destructive forces.
And to work actively to counteract them.
To develop strategies for prevention and remediation.
To draw on the power of prayer. To seek divine assistance.
And in this context, the Baha'i home, with its focus on connection and service, becomes a beacon of hope.
It's a place where we can find refuge and support.
A place where we can strengthen our bonds and recharge our spiritual batteries.
And it's not just a haven for ourselves.
It's a place of welcome for others.
It's where we can share the Baha'i teachings and invite others to join us in building a better world.
It's about transforming our homes into centers of community building.
And the letter highlights how this is already happening. Groups of families are opening their homes to host activities, to expand their reach.
It's inspiring.
It is. And this idea of service, it's not just for individuals. It applies to families as a whole.
The family as a unit of service.
Exactly. And when we advance together on this path, it strengthens our bonds, and it prepares us for greater challenges.
So when opportunities for more demanding forms of service arise, we're ready to respond.
With unity and dedication.
And the letter clarifies the concept of sacrifice. It doesn't mean sacrificing the well-being of the family.
It means prioritizing the things of God over personal concerns to enable greater service.
So it's about finding that balance
between our responsibilities to our families and our commitment to building a better world.
And the Universal House of Justice expresses its appreciation for the efforts of Baha'is worldwide during the 9-year plan.
For all the sacrifices made in community building, in social action, in spreading the faith.
They acknowledge the challenges we face and the dedication we've shown.
And they emphasize the vital role that families will play in the future.
It's a reminder that we're all in this together.
And that our efforts, no matter how small, are contributing to something much greater.
The letter ends with a beautiful quote from Abdu'l-Bahá. He describes his home as a home of peace.
A place of joy and delight.
Laughter and exultation.
And light.
Where all who enter leave with gladsome hearts.
And become illumined.
It's such a powerful image.
It is. It's an aspiration for all Baha'i families and homes.
To create spaces where the spirit of love and unity can flourish, where everyone feels welcome and supported.
To become havens of peace and pillars of strength for all humanity.
So listeners, as we wrap up this deep dive, we hope you'll take some time to reflect on these profound teachings.
To consider how they resonate with your own understanding of family life.
To think about how you can apply these principles in your own homes and communities.
Because the way we structure our families has a direct impact on the kind of world we create.
It's not just about personal happiness. It's about building a better future for all.
Remember those questions the Universal House of Justice posed.
How can you make your family life a reflection of the Baha'i teachings? How can you contribute to the transformation of your community? How can you be a force for good in the world?
It's an ongoing process of learning and growth.
It's about taking small steps day by day.
And remembering that we're not alone in this journey.
We have each other. We have the guidance of the Baha'i writings. We have the support of our community.
And we have the boundless love and grace of God.
For those of you who want to delve even deeper into this topic, we highly recommend exploring other Baha'i writings on marriage, family, and community building.
You can start with the Kitabi Akas, Baha'u'llah's Book of Laws, and be sure to check out the messages from the Universal House of Justice.
The Training Institute also has many wonderful resources available.
We hope this deep dive has been insightful and inspiring.
And we leave you with this question to ponder. What small act of love and unity can you do today to strengthen your family and make the world a better place?
Thank you for joining us.
Until next time.